note that you have invited people to the website. What is important? Thank you for your kind introduction. I usually ask to not do lengthy introduction, but it is the good faith in which they're extended forward. So warmly welcome. I really appreciate your kind words. Your Excellency, Marshal Cordovan, High Commissioner of Jamaica to Canada. David, Consul General of Jamaica here at Toronto. Members of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council and the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council. Members of civil society, academia, and other organizations, stakeholders in the Jamaican community. Members of the executive of the Jamaican Canadian Association, thank you so very much for hosting us on here. And yes, I remember the electricity, and Dr. Thompson was here, right in that corner. But that's just one of several opportunities that I had to be here at the Canadian Association, Jamaican Canadian Association, over my tenure. Those were mostly in the earlier years as well. It was a pleasure. Let me just also salute all heads and members of Jamaican associations here. One of the beautiful elements of our diaspora is the opportunity for people to gather and associate and support themselves in things with goals and aims. Many times, not only supporting members of your own community here, but supporting communities at home. Welcome to all of you. Members of staff of the High Commission and members of staff of the Consulate, fellow Jamaicans, all ladies and gentlemen, and the friends and family that are here with you. Welcome to you this afternoon. I want to thank you for taking the time to be here after what was undoubtedly a long work day. And if you had any of the traffic that I had coming here, I thank you extra. Thank you extra. I didn't have the opportunity to turn back. I was not driving, but you all did, and you made a choice to come here, and I want to express appreciation. Really is a delight and a pleasure to be here with you, and to be here in this beautiful city, which is home to so many Jamaicans, one of our largest diaspora populations across the world. I think we look at the fact that you are Jamaicans here. We have Jamaican born, we have adopted, we have Jacadians. That's a term that hasn't quite caught on like Americans, Dr. Simpson. We work on a cool term. But also people who just love to associate with Jamaica and all that Jamaica is. I think it's wonderful to see how positive brand Jamaica is here in Canada and is here in Toronto, and it is indeed a testament to the work that all of you do and every day how you represent our beautiful culture. For my part, it is and remains a great privilege to serve my country as a member of the Senate and as a member of the Cabinet of Prime Minister Holness. The government takes seriously our responsibility to engage and to serve each and every Jamaican at home and abroad, from every walk of life, across all generations, so that we leave a solid and sustainable legacy for future generations as we all go from place to place. A very important dimension of my responsibility is clearly to ensure positive engagement with our diaspora, sincere and effective engagement with the diaspora, recognizing the vital role that you play in securing Jamaica's future. So I want to express a special thanks, gratitude, in fact, to High Commissioner Cordovan and to Consul General Davis for the work that they have done. I want to thank the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council and the JCD and the members of the Canadian leadership and other stakeholders who have worked together to extend such warm hospitality and for organizing this meeting here. Again, your participation demonstrates your unwavering love for Jamaica and how important it is you find it to continue to engage, to hear about what's happening at home. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here in Toronto, we acknowledge Canada's significance as a diaspora association, and I am reminded of the profound impact that our community has had on all aspects of Canadian society, in academia, and governance, entrepreneurship, from prestigious universities to the chambers of the Canadian Senate, from boardrooms of innovative enterprises to corridors of power, to supporting organizations of every size and form. Fostering innovation, nurturing the next generation of leaders, caring for those who are in need. Trailblazers all. We have had many Jamaicans honored by both the Jamaican and Canadian governments who have not only promoted Brand Jamaica, but embodied the very essence of what it is to be Jamaican and to be a global citizen. Their success is Jamaica's success, and we celebrate not only their personal achievements as collective victories for our nation, but as beacons of inspiration for generations to come. And I want to just mention briefly, if you will allow me, a few recent congratulations, or rather recent reasons for congratulations that I wish to offer today. To Dr. Pamela Appel and Ms. Lily Johnson, who are both conferred with the Order of Jamaicans who received the Order of Toronto, Dr. Gervan Gueran, Dr. Holden Fong, and Mr. Morgan. Those who were recently appointed as chancellors, Mr. Wes Hall and Dr. Donald Chinloy Chan at the University of Toronto. They now join Marianne Chambers, making 3 Jamaican-born persons now currently serving as University Chancellor. I want to also recognize those who have been accorded national honors by the government of Jamaica. Dr. Howard Shearer, who is honored in October, Bishop and Bishop Professor Dr. Randolph Henry. I want to recognize, celebrate them, and congratulate them all. I say that to go on because there are a broad spectrum. There is a broad spectrum, but of course, I just recognize the most recent honors which have been awarded. Ladies and gentlemen, I remind that my visit to this wonderful city is by invitation of the Government of Canada to co-chair a Women Foreign Ministers meeting together with my counterpart, the Honorable Melanie Jolie. This meeting, which is scheduled for tomorrow and the day after, will be a valuable opportunity for global collaboration. I made a special effort to ensure that I came in early enough to have this meeting with you, and because I think it's important that in the context of outreach, we ensure that we engage wherever possible. So as usual, I'm making the best use possible of travel, and again, very happy to be here. Apart from the Women Foreign Ministers meeting, I'll also be engaging in bilateral discussions, so about Jamaica-Canada cooperation, with Minister Jolie in the Foreign Affairs realm, but also with Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, Mr. Mark Miller, as well as the Honorable Mark Miller, and the Minister of International Development, the Honorable Ahmed Hussein. So there's a really broad scope of engagement that's taking place over the next 3 days, and I am confident that we will have positive developments coming out of them. We know in foreign affairs, things don't happen overnight, but it is always important to engage, even with relationships that are as long and strong as those between Jamaica and Canada. Canada being one of the earliest countries to enter diplomatic relations with our country. There's always room to do more, to build more, to modernize the way and what we do together, and be hopeful, or rather we're quite confident that this will help in that process. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Jamaicans, let me also, on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica, express our deep appreciation for your prompt and effective response following the devastating impact of Hurricane Beryl, especially the parishes of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, and Panama. I want to express special thanks to those of you who not only organized but participated and supported in any small way the concert which took place to provide funds, as Mr. Gordon just shared, $80,000 for concert. Artists gave up their time to play and demonstrated solidarity. Through the efforts of patriotic community organization, again, solidarity was demonstrated. I want to name in particular the GJDYC, Jamaican Canadian Association, the Alliance of Jamaican Alumni Association, Big Seven Promotions, Caribbean Cleansure, and Reggae North. Thank all of you for giving what you can, for even where that is of your time and your service. It is truly appreciated. We also want to express appreciation to the tremendous support provided by Food for Canada, which raised over $90,000 to support recovery efforts as well. And the Honorable Michael Legion, who also graciously spearheaded an initiative which saw the NCB Foundation matching financial contributions made otherwise to the recovery efforts. Just to speak a little bit about Beryl, I'm not sure how closely some of you follow. Minister Charles Jr., the Minister of Labour and Social Security, gave an update to Parliament yesterday, sometime somewhere, yesterday, Tuesday, where he spoke about the number of homes that have been assessed, just over 14,500 homes, which have now been assessed, because remember the support that is provided must follow an assessment process. There's a standard tool that is used by OSPEN and the Ministry of Labour and Social Security to ensure that the people who need it most are the people who get it, and the people's receipts are proportionate to the type of damage which they have sustained. So not only has the Ministry of Labour and Social Security been working with OSPEN to ensure that humanitarian and housing grants, reconstruction, rebuilding grants are provided to households. They've also been partnering with the World Program, which has also been helping, particularly with households with very young children, 0 to 6, and there's another set of grants for with persons living with disabilities, as well as families which have elderly persons who are particularly vulnerable. We've also been working with the UN, UNDP, UNICEF, and UNESCO, as well as the UN Housing Agency, working again on systems to not only ensure that persons in need now post-burial receive support, but that we also have systems in place to allow for us to be even more resilient and more responsive when the next disaster strikes. And we know in the Caribbean it is not if, it is when. And we have to always be preparing. We have to withstand rise. While we're dealing with reconstruction, we're also dealing with resilient building and looking at how we can improve our systems. So that is also another process on the way. Just to also remind, we had more than 300 schools damaged, and these have been put in 3 priority levels in terms of type of repairs that they needed to ensure that schools could reopen in September. I'm really pleased to say that all schools are open. Some have had to include some modalities like being in church halls while the rest of the routine is completed, or part virtual, or half school is in while part of the school is being reconstructed. But the work is on the way. Emergency work has been contracted, and there's a robust and transparent system around all of the support that is being funneled into burial, and those, of course, will be reported on in not only the report to Parliament brought by ministers, but in the budget and supplementary budget when it will be presented. All of these funds go through the consolidated fund, as you know, there's an OSPEN account to which all money goes, and to ensure that there's a standard way in which their distribution takes place. So I want you to know this so that you can have trust and faith in the process, which is a deeply credible and long-standing one, which we continue to try to improve. I want to also mention our fishers and farmers, because one of the critical things has been not only getting our children back into school and getting houses or persons in families restored in terms of their normalcy, but getting our farmers back to planting has been critical, getting planting materials, fertilizers, seeds, and even small layers, etc., getting our fishers back on the sea and into agriculture again has also been underway. There's been rehabilitation of fishing beaches as well as support given to fishing families for their own restoration and to get our boats and other equipment repaired and replaced where it has been necessary. So very response has been significant, and I wanted to share that with you